I've been practicing architecture for the past 13 years now, and we've been very lucky that Banjaiga has featured one of our star projects, the Courtyard. Nature of this project and just बुनियाद पे बना था, just thought पे बना था कि we try to change the typical कह लें या जो conventional way of thinking of a canal house, especially the house that has to be built to sell. So this is a house in which we've totally transformed that ideology, keeping in mind all the amenities and all the basic requirements of a 6-bedroom house, and all of those are here, but they've been totally transformed and relocated of how we wanted to present it. The client is Hassan Shah, H-Wares. Hassan Shah के साथ मुलाकात हुई, बात हुई. उनकी भी एक सोच थी कि यार, I've been wanting to do something of the sort as well, in which I really want to show my materials, my supplies, which जिसमें कोई showcase कर सके कि यार इसकी limits किस तरह test हो सकती हैं. जैसे कि मतलब I would like to define that later, but the Monalisa tile itself, right? So वहाँ से बात शुरू हुई, तो जब क्लाइंट ब्रीफ की बात आई कि अच्छा किस तरह का घर होना चाहिए है, क्या क्या होना चाहिए उसके अंदर, कितने बेडरूम करने हैं, तो luckily and surprisingly, Hassan left that all upon Arkmett. He simply left it upon the architects, upon us. You guys decide best. So that's from where it started off.
अच्छा, अहमद के साथ ये था कि हम इसको बहुत मिनिमलिज्म की तरफ इस घर को लेकर जाना चाहते थे. एक बहुत परफेक्ट ब्लेंड और बैलेंस होना चाहिए till it is going to finish. So I hope we achieved that and people loved it.
If you look at the language of the house, and if you look at the language of the facade, it's a modern house. Eventually, if you're inside, you wouldn't get, there are traces everywhere of how it's a modern house. But if you look at the exterior, there's a bold chamfer in the center. There's fluting paneling on the left side. On the right side, we have 3 divided windows, full length. So if you look at all these elements in isolation, it seems like there's an imprint of a modern house. So instead of solely looking at the classical lines or the modern lines, what we've done is we've fused the two together. So you would see traces all around the house. The lines are very clean. The color palette is very neutral. It's monochromatic. So what that allows us is that there are elements which are, like for example the moldings, they're hidden within the grays. And all these ornamented जो हमारी सारी detailing है ना, that's all hidden in the colors instead of us making it pop out. Because usually what happens conventionally in a classical house is that it usually these things usually pop. But in this specific house, we wanted to keep everything subdued, ताकि whatever else that there's coming in, whether it's the furniture or whether it's the color from the rugs, that really adds character to the space, instead of the architecture being the vocabulary of the architecture actually dictating what the aesthetic of the house is.
I would say I'm a functional sort of person. My thought process is very function based when it comes to design. Be it a house, be it a corporate building, be it a commercial, be it hospitality, whatever. I like to think, when I'm thinking of spaces, I'm thinking of spaces which can be used for multi-purpose, which can be separated but yet be connected when needed. At the same time, I like to bring the inside to the outside and the outside to the inside. I personally feel that every space, because every space is being used by a human, nature is very important, the outdoor is very important. you need to be under a shelter but still be connected with the nature outside. So even in this house, you will notice that the ground floor, looking at that when you guys will see it, the entire ground floor can be opened up, yet can be closed back into the spaces that are defined. जो कोर्टयार्ड की सोच आई थी इस घर में लाने की, दैट वाज बिकॉज इट्स अ कनाल हाउस, और एक टिपिकल आइडियोलॉजी कनाल हाउस की जिसके अंदर क्या आप भर देते हैं स्पेस को, आपको ना रोशनी मिलती है ना आपको हवा मिलती है. हमारे रीजन की जो प्रीवियस कंस्ट्रक्शंस हैं, जो हिस्ट्री है, वहाँ से अगर देखूँ तो वहाँ से देन इट केम टू माई माइंड किया व्हाई नॉट ब्रिंग अ कोर्टयार्ड बैक इनटू अ कनाल हाउस. बट वो प्रॉब्लम ये थी, जब आप कोर्टयार्ड लेकर आते हैं तो चीज़ें उसके अराउंड फिल नहीं होती. वाई? बिकॉज कोर्टयार्ड जगह खा जाता. सो फिर जो आपकी जो बेसिक सारी रिक्वायरमेंट्स थी या जो होनी चाहिए हैं, 2 bedroom house on the ground floor and all of those things, they started juttering up and they started getting all away because the courtyard was coming on the ground floor. So that's from where it started off. The idea of the courtyard was यही था basically इसका. अब इस सारे का फंक्शन चलाना कैसे, what goes where and how do we align it. The initial idea was to put in the center. सेंटर में डालते हैं तो 39 फीट टोटल आपकी कनाल में सीज होती है. 50 में से आप बायलॉस निकाल देते हैं, 39 यूज़ होता है. A good size of a courtyard, say 16 by 16 or 18 by 18, so you're left with 12 feet approximately on the sides, which doesn't really give you a usable space. So उस पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से जब इसको एक दफ़े साइड पे किया, जहाँ पे भी लोकेटेड है, साइड पे करने के बाद ख्याल आया कि अच्छा यार, अगर ये सारा कुछ यहाँ आता है तो सारा कुछ अलाइन हो जाता है. उस अलाइनमेंट को जब देखा तो देन अगेन द जिक्सॉ पजल स्टार्टेड सेटिंग बेस्ट इनटू इट्स प्लेस. कि ऑलराइट, you've got the master bedroom coming here, you've got the courtyard here, right on the other end of the courtyard you have the lounge, the great room, and if you have windows aligned all the way together, wherever you're sitting, be it in the bedroom, be it in the lounge, or be it in the courtyard itself, you see the 90 feet depth. ये तो कमरे हमने इस तरह फिट इन कर लिया उसमें. अब जो फंक्शन में आपकी डे टू डे सिनेरियो के अंदर था कि अच्छा इफ़ यू रियली डीकोड द फैक्ट के दिन में होता क्या घर में, द लेडी ऑफ द हाउस, व्हाट ऑल इज शी इज़ डूइंग. शी इज़ नॉर्मली आइदर इन द मास्टर बेडरूम और शी इज़ इन द किचन or she is running the house and sitting in the lounge. So these are 3 spaces which are most important to her. So the third side, the courtyard, was then clear to me, okay, then we put the kitchen there. The kitchen should go there so that now her movements and her control of the house gets sorted. अब उसके बाद फर्दर डिटेल आना शुरू. अच्छा यार, घर में खाना खाना है, दिन में 3 दफ़े मील्स होने हैं, वो कहाँ होगा, उसकी तो जगह ही कोई नहीं है. So then we expanded the size of the kitchen and we decided, let's put that all day dining. Let's convert the island into a dining height. So once this was done, the plan started to evolve very nicely. अच्छा, अब size spaces खुल रही हैं, no matter where you are, it's all connected. The courtyard gets more purpose to itself. Bedroom से walk out कर रहे हैं, lounge से walk out कर रहे हैं. When the weather is good, ये पूरा फ्लोर खुल जाता है.
असल में देखें, एक तो मैंने आपको बताया कि इसकी ग्राउंड, मतलब ये जो ग्राउंड फ्लोर है, इट इज़ अ हेवन. और दूसरा ये है कि इट इज़ अ वेरी प्रैक्टिकल हाउस, राइट. फॉर एग्जांपल इसके अंदर ऑटोमेशन है, मूड्स हैं, म्यूज़िक है. सो और इवन जो हमने इक्विपमेंट्स को यूज़ किया है, दे आर कमिंग विद द वारंटी. और फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आप मास्टर बेड के वॉशरूम में चले जाते हैं तो वहाँ पर जो शावर लगा हुआ है, दैट इज़ ओनली 500,000 रुपीज़ का शावर है. तो लोग मुझसे पूछते हैं वाई दिस इज सो एक्सपेंसिव. तो मैं उनको बताता हूँ, इट टुक अस 3 years टू मेक दिस हाउस. यूजुअली आप नॉर्मल घर देखें तो वो 1 साल में बन जाते हैं. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी वेल थॉट प्लान्ड हाउस. और मटीरियल्स की सिलेक्शन के ऊपर और इवन जो इक्विपमेंट्स यूज़ किए गए वो दे आर हाईली लग्जरी, हाईली फंक्शनल. सो आई होप कि जो भी इसको लेगा वो ज़रूर दुआएं देगा.
The lobby of any space, of any building that you enter into, is always the defining point. of what it is going to be like and what the experience would be like. The conventional way, yeah, I should say that, you know, what people are more used to looking at is entering into a grand lobby in this size of a house, which for me, to be very honest, because the way we think is we give space to every space. The area that we give to a particular space is according to the time spent in that particular area. So my understanding of a lobby space is that, you know, that's a waste of area. We could actually utilize that more, but we still had to, you know, give it the impact of that कि अच्छा, you know, उसका एक experience आ जाए. So the thought was कि एक staircase है, उसने भी तो एक circulation utilize करनी है. So what would happen if there's a hallway which is 8 feet wide and you connect that with the circulation area of that particular staircase and try to achieve an impact area, a particular scale of a space. So we connected these two zones together, reduced the normally जो आप area देते हैं size of a lobby, we reduced that. When we did, after that, what the thought was, you know, why not turn this staircase into the impact? Let the staircase be the first statement that anybody would see as they enter the house. So then, this staircase was it's an inspiration through Stephen Hall's work, right? But चैलेंज ये था कि वो इतनी बड़ी स्टेयरकेस जिस तरह वो डिज़ाइन थी उसको हमने अपनी स्पेस के हिसाब से हाउ वाज आई गोइंग टू रियली, यू नो, मेक दैट पॉसिबल. This staircase is actually envisioned as a sculpture as you enter the house, which is connecting all 3 floors. And if you were to look at the staircase from the last end to the top end, you would still see that elliptical feel to it, which really adds to the space. Then from this, you know, when I started thinking of what the experience would be like when you're going up or when you're going down, what is it the central point that you would want to see? Then the access point came into alignment with the lounge. So the access, घर के access जो थे वो define होना शुरू हो गए, courtyard का, lounge का, entrance का, and automatically इस staircase की location, उसकी shape जिसको एक जगह महदूद की गई थी, वो turned out to be a privacy barrier for the kitchen at the same time. Basically, when you come up the elliptical staircase, the angle at which it ends is actually aligned at 2 points. It makes you look at the double height lounge and the chandelier which is hanging right there, and then at the same time it focuses on the courtyard, which provides you that vertical connection and the feel of that openness, because on the first floor we're basically utilizing spaces for the bedrooms only, and then the vertical volumes have already taken up the space, so there's not much in the first floor lobby area. But because of this vertical double heights and the view and the look that you get, it enhances to that. So basically the first floor only has 3 bedrooms. It has a maid room, the laundry. The laundry is situated in a way, you enter into the lobby through the passage, and then you enter into the maid room. These two things have been connected together because normally the maid is the one who's doing the laundry, so it's easier for her. And at the same time, the laundry gives you a buffer zone to the maid room door, so it doesn't really directly open into the passage area. And then we have a good sized kitchenette area on the first floor as well, so that the family members residing on the first floor can, you know, warm up things, or, you know, just make a few snacks, or for that matter, whatever that they need to do. But the first floor is primarily only about the 3 bedrooms, and that's it, because all the living spaces are on the ground floor basically, and you're looking down into them. Be it any building, be it a house, be it any space that needs to be used, building that, turning that into how an architect has envisioned it, it is always a teamwork. When I say teamwork, I'm not only referring to, in my case, the Arkmett studio itself and my team players. I'm referring to people who are building it, starting off from the civil work team, to the electrical works, the plumbing works, and so on. You know, that's how it's built down together. So that's the civil aspect of it. Then comes in of, you know, finishing it up and giving it the a space, the feel that you had envisioned सारा कुछ. So उसमें of course HVers being the client, and the purpose that was discussed previously, the palette, the library for the materials was vast. There were different brands out of which I could pick the tiles. There was Calais, there was Monalisa, there was Ive, and it was a big responsibility that I felt, you know, I had to somehow use these materials, one of the best materials in town, which had to be used the best way that I could use them. And at the same time, not just the aesthetics, but also showcase their limits. Like the tile on the floor is also the tile on the kitchen counters. On the island is also the tile on the staircase. In the same way, the washrooms, looking at the palette that I had in mind for the entire house, which was a very neutral and very natural colors going into the house. Again, the library was so big that it did become a little tough for me to really decide which tile to use where. But it was at the same time it was a lot of fun, because to an extent there was no limit of can I use this or can I not use that. So this was the tiling part. At the same time, talking about the faucets, the accessories, all of those things. Hans Grohe being one of the top brands, I got to use that brand differently. I mean, all their different types of. There's a satin gold one, then there's a black one, the black nickel, and there's a satin silver at the same time. So it was a lot of fun mixing up, making the palette, making these collections and selections for as an architect at the same time as the client. The kitchen actually, what I had envisioned, what you see, the challenge was to get a matte black kitchen, which was itself, looking at the market and what we had there, Kuchen really made it possible, because that was a limitation. How they did it is magical, because I did not just want it to be black. I wanted fluting panels at the same time. Now getting the fluting panels in the same matching colors as the flat panels was a challenge. But I think at the end product and how it's come out, it's exactly how I wanted it to be, it's exactly how I envisioned it to be. So I think they've done a great job there. The furniture of this house has been done by Keel.
I'm Ahmed Bukhari.
And I'm Zara Zahir.
And we're co-founders of Keel. We're a married couple and we run this company together.
Yeah.
And
Keel is a furniture manufacturing company that is based in Pakistan. And we have everything in-house. हमारी अपनी factory है, which allows us to do projects like this, जिसमें हम tailor-made चीज़ें बना सकते हैं, bespoke चीज़ें हो सकती हैं that are based around the look and feel of what the architect's vision is.
Design philosophy में ये है कि essentially एक simple सी चीज़ है. वो ये है कि we want to create spaces that you fall in love with. ठीक है, spaces that you miss when you're not in them. When you're having a long day at work and that time is approaching when you're about to go home, I want you to be excited to go back to your lounge, living room or your bedroom, आप excited हो कि okay, that is a place where I will immediately feel calm, I will feel, it'll bring happiness, joy back in my life. So that is what we aim to do, that is what we try to do. Bespoke वाली बात जो ज़ारा ने की, वो जो हमारी ability है, that enables us to actually achieve that, क्योंकि फिर coherence आ जाती है architecture of the house के अंदर and the interiors of the house के अंदर. तो वो I think that really helps. And इसके अलावा quality and comfort, तो that's a must. So that's what we believe in.
Minimalistic, luxury, modern, sustainable, practical.
The Courtyard house is a smart home which has been executed by Tera Generation in collaboration with luxury lighting.
We are Tera Generation Solutions. We design smart homes and future technologies. I won't entitle myself as a futurist, but we try to go with the futuristic IoT trends, and we try our best to incorporate them and interpret them into architecture here. Basically, when we're designing a connected home, so to speak, we are looking at what emotions we can relate to when we are designing an electric system for a space. We have to take care of the lighting design, how it would enhance and highlight the aesthetic as per the interior designer, as per the architect, to highlight the exact silhouettes of a space. Shears, we do automated shears, the shading, the CRI, how light reflects upon different surfaces. Surface separation is an aspect that we look at. We take care of the thermostats, the entire ambiance and the atmosphere that a space can offer to its residents. All this can be summed up into a phenomena we call a connected home, so to speak.
देखिए, हम जब इस प्रोजेक्ट में आए तो हमारा सबसे जो एक रिक्वायरमेंट थी आर्किटेक्ट्स की तरफ से वो ये थी कि क्योंकि सारे स्पेसेस कनेक्टेड हैं एक दूसरे से, नथिंग शुड जंप आउट, इट शुड ऑल वर्क टुगेदर, हारमोनियस होना चाहिए. तो आई थिंक चैलेंज सबसे हमारा बड़ा वैसे यही था कि हम इसको कलर पैलेट किस तरह से लेके चलें, क्योंकि न्यूट्रल कलर पैलेट ऑलरेडी हमारे पास था, लेकिन ऐसा भी ना हो कि वो इतना न्यूट्रल हो जाए कि फर्नीचर तो गायब ही हो गया, इवन दो इट्स देयर.
फाइन लाइन है ना हार्मनी और मोनोटनी में.
हाँ,
तो वो दैट वाज द मेजर चैलेंज कि मोनोटनस ना हो हम, लेकिन एक ओवरऑल पूरे घर के अंदर हार्मनी हो.
मोनोक्रोमैटिक कलर पैलेट के साथ हम चले, और बाज़ पीपल थिंक दैट मोनोक्रोम मीन्स ब्लैंड, बट you can pick any color and create a hue, which is what monochrome is. So we all work together, हम सब इकट्ठे बैठ के, बड़ा अच्छा टीम collaboration था. We were given a certain amount, we were given some mood boards from the architecture team, and we were given the liberty to change it around. और I think हमने एक product उनके mood board से रखा, बाकी हमने कहा हम आपको बताएंगे कि हमें क्या लगता है इस घर में क्या उठेगा. उसमें फिर लकीली उनको पसंद आ गया, एंड वी टेलर मेड एवरीथिंग टू द स्पेस. हमारा प्रोसेस भी यही था कि हम टू स्केल चीज़ें बनाएं, ऐसा ना हो कि कुछ ऐसी चीज़ आ जाए जो फिट ही नहीं आ रहा. तो वो भी एक पूरा प्रोसेस था.
इसमें आई वुड आल्सो लाइक टू अप्रिशिएट आर्कमेट को, अहमद अमीन, अहमद वलीद, जो इनकी सारी आर्किटेक्ट्स की टीम थी, एज वेल एज द क्लाइंट मिस्टर हसन शाह, क्योंकि दे पुट देयर ट्रस्ट इन अस, यू नो, इनिशियल मीटिंग्स के बाद, एंड देन दे गिव अस अ फ्री हैंड कि ऑलराइट वी फील लाइक वी आर ऑन द सेम पेज नाउ, एंड नाउ यू आर फ्री टू यू नो ब्रिंग इन एनी डिज़ाइन, यू नो, कलर पैलेट. वो ज़रूर हमने दिखाया ज़रूर, बिकॉज दैट इज़ यू नो आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. बट वो जो चैलेंजेस की आपने बात की ना, बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस उससे हल हो गए कि वो ट्रस्ट डेफिसिट नहीं था. पूरा हम पे ट्रस्ट किया और फिर हमें बस हमारे से एक्सपेक्टेशन की कि हम अच्छा करेंगे.
है लग्जरी लाइटिंग सॉल्यूशंस. वी प्रोवाइड डेडिकेटेड लाइटिंग सॉल्यूशंस. हम जो आर्किटेक्चर लाइट्स, आउटडोर लाइट्स, फसाड लाइट्स, डेकोरेटिव एंड शैंडलियर्स के अंदर डील करते हैं. तो हम एक पर्पस बिल्ड लाइटिंग प्रोवाइड करते हैं, और हमारे जो जिसको कहते हैं ना बेंचमार्क स्पेशलिटी है वो है कस्टमाइज शैंडलियर्स. तो वी डू एक्सेल इन दैट. बेसिकली अहमद भाई का, जैसे कि आपने देखा घर बड़ा मिनिमलिस्ट और उस स्ट्रेट लाइन जो है ना स्ट्रक्चर पे मूव कर रहा है. तो उसके अंदर जो मेजर टास्क था वो था कि हमारा जो लाउंज का शैंडलियर है वो टू द स्केल हो एंड प्रोपोर्शंस के कोऑर्डिनेट हो. तो उसके जैसा कि मैंने आपको बताया कि वी हैव मतलब हम कस्टमाइज शैंडलियर्स के अंदर स्पेशलाइज करते हैं. तो अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट थीम को मेंटेन करते हुए मिनिमलिस्ट थीम को लेके चलते हुए हमने उसको डिज़ाइन किया और उसके मुताबिक फिर हमने उसको यहाँ पे पर्पस बिल्ट जो है वो बनवा के रेडी करके हमने उसको इंस्टॉल किया। उसके अलावा हमने इन्हीं लाइंस को मेंशन करते हुए हमने जो उनके जैसे लॉबीज़ की तरह आपने देखा होगा लेज़र ब्लेड को यूज़ किया है। कोई एक्स्ट्रा लाइटिंग नहीं है यहाँ पे, बिल्कुल पर्पस बिल्ट एम्बियंट किस्म की हमने लाइटिंग को यूज़ किया है। वॉशरूम्स के अंदर हमने सिंपल पेंडेंट्स को हैंग किया है। लाउंज जैसे बेसमेंट है उसके अंदर हमने फ्लोर लैम्प को यूज़ किया है ताकि हम जो जगह को वो एम्बियंट करें और जो स्पेसेस हैं उनको फुलफ़िल करते हुए खूबसूरत कोई चीज़ जो है ना उस एलिमेंट को हम लेके आएँ उसके अंदर।
So basically, when the client approached us with Project Dynamics, we coordinated and compiled an electrical design that resonates with our design philosophy, IoT trends of today, and we tried to ensure that while it doesn't compromise on the aesthetic space, we could also take care of the future scalability prospect of the property. This property is intended to be sold to a lucky one that's going to own this real soon. We have put systems in place throughout the property that comply with the ever-changing rate which is accelerating in IoT industry. Nobody thought us millennials, we were born in age of internet, and nobody thought we'd be wearing a supercomputer on our wrist one day. So we incorporated technology that without going for any chiseling or making new provisions, we ensured that the property owner can relate and connect to the home in future as per their choice, as per their lifestyle. With IoT and AI now becoming very common, it's not far when your house can learn from your habits in the near future, and it would, for example, if you have automatic scheduling done for a certain light or a certain area or a certain music in a certain space or a certain drape or a shade to be drawn at a certain time, but as a human, if you don't opt for it on a certain Wednesday, the system learns. And the learning part is what's going to happen real soon. We've taken all that into consideration while we were designing the space so that it would blend in with the lifestyle of the homeowner in near future.
The basement was quite a challenging thing. पहली बात ये थी कि हमने कोर्टयार्ड को अकोमोडेट करने के लिए ग्राउंड में से कुछ अपनी एक्टिविटीज़ फंक्शंस कम किए थे, लाइक द ड्राइंग डाइनिंग, अ वेरी important aspect in our culture, in our requirements here. That had to be utilized somewhere. लेकिन बेसमेंट बनाने में चैलेंज ये था कि यार बेसमेंट नॉर्मली कंसीव की जाती है कि एक डिंजी, not ventilated, not daylight. This was a bold decision that as a आप कह लें, I was my own client, जो हमने पहले बात की कि I was defining the brief. It was a bold decision on my part कि okay, let's take it down, but how do we make it possible? This basement has 5 sunkens. Those 5 sunkens actually ensured that the basement doesn't feel like a basement. If you sit in this basement for a few minutes, for a couple of minutes, or 5 minutes, at least this is how I feel, I forget that I'm sitting here. कि मैं एक basement में बैठा हूँ, because I have the good amount of filtered daylight coming in. If I open cross windows, I get that ventilation, and I do get detached from all the noise which would be up there and all, right? अब बेसमेंट का जब सोचा और ये जब मैंने ड्राइंग डाइनिंग यहाँ डाला, सारा वो लाइट्स वगैरह डे लाइट एंड संकन्स अकोमोडेट कर लिए, तो इससे करने से हमें एक और फ़ायदा ये होता है कि मतलब इफ़ आई एम लुकिंग एट इट एज द क्लाइंट, if I've got guests over, तो उन guests, when the guest is over, तो normally your family, other family members like, अच्छा I have to go out, अच्छा guests आए में, अच्छा ये नहीं हो सकता, वो नहीं हो सकता, right? So the minute you take the guest wing in the basement, it's only about the guest entering the lobby and then vanishing. The basement turns into a guest wing. What's happening here is totally disconnected with the entire house. Now, इसमें एक सवाल आता है कि अच्छा गेस्ट्स आपने नीचे ले गए, किचन तो ऊपर है, वो कैसे काम करेगा? which is why we have the satellite kitchen. Everything, the entire formal cutlery is envisioned to be in that space. In this kitchen, यहीं पे पड़ी होगी, यहीं पे stored होगी, यहीं पे wash होके वापस चली जाएगी, right? So whatever is needed is going to come from the first ground floor, will be taken here, warmed up, and served onto the dining table behind me. This is how I was thinking of it, but the end user can actually even use it as a totally different thing. Maybe they can bring their day-to-day living niche, and stay disconnected with the what's happening on the ground first. But the main challenge was to really turn this basement into a space that is well lit, well ventilated. We even have 2 bedrooms here. This is a 6-bedroom house. There's 1 bedroom on the ground floor, there are 3 on the first, and there are 2 in the basement. And even those 2 bedrooms, with the help of these 5 sunkens, is well lit.
बहुत मुश्किल सवाल है।
ये काफ़ी मुश्किल है क्योंकि हम अभी यही हंस रहे थे विद आर्कमेट की टीम और हम के यार रोज़ के रोज़ फेवरेट स्पेस चेंज हो जाती है। क्योंकि हमने हर कमरे में इस घर में ना सारे 5-6 लोगों ने 2-2 3-3 घंटे चिल किया है कि यार चेक तो करें कि वाइब क्या है। तो लेकिन सारी स्पेसेस को करने के बाद आई थिंक मेरा जो फेवरेट स्पेस है बेस्ड ऑन हु आई एम एज अ पर्सन is the basement का drawing room and dining room because it's an open space. It's a space where I can imagine myself hosting my friends. Dining table पे भी कुछ लोग बैठे हुए हैं, एक buffet लगा हुआ है, वहाँ से nitpicking हो रही है, वो खा रहे हैं कुछ लोग यहाँ पे बैठे हुए हैं. It's a very comfortable, cozy space to sit in. So that's my favorite place in this house. And favorite piece है हमने एक parametric bench है उसी कमरे के अंदर. ब्लैक में है, सॉलिड वुड में बना हुआ है, तो इट्स काइंड ऑफ लाइक इट्स अ बेंच एज वेल एज अ स्कल्पचर पीस, तो दैट इज़ माय फेवरेट पीस. इट वाज माय बेबी. वो उस पर मैंने बड़ा काम किया. ज़ारा ने मुझे डिज़ाइन के अंदर सपोर्ट की कि जी हाँ ठीक है, ऐसे कर लो, ये कर लो, तो वो मेरा फेवरेट है.
सारे बेडरूम्स मेरे फेवरेट हैं, स्पेशली जो फर्स्ट फ्लोर का फ्रंट बेडरूम है, उसकी लाइट का प्ले और बस उसका कलर पैलेट आई थिंक वाज समथिंग दैट रियली मेक्स मी फील लाइक कि यहाँ मैं सो सकती हूँ डेफिनेटली और उठ भी सकती हूँ. लेकिन हाँ, फेवरेट पीस जो है वो आई थिंक ड्राइंग रूम में जो हमारे सोफ़े हैं, लोगों को शायद ये ना पता लगे देख के, लेकिन उसकी सारी जो स्टिचिंग है, डिटेलिंग, वो हाथ से हुआ हुआ है. उस पर बहुत टाइम लगा और वो एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जो एंड में हम बना कुछ और रहे थे, फाइनल कुछ और हुआ था, लेकिन एंड में हमने बैठ के डिसीजन ले लिया कि हम कुछ और बनाते हैं और वो हमने बहुत मुश्किल चीज़ सिलेक्ट कर ली. तो वो आई थिंक कंफर्ट वाइज, क्राफ्ट्समैनशिप वाइज ना, वो आपको कील के बारे में बता देता है.
एंड कूडोज टू आवर टीम
वैसे एक्चुअली
जिन्होंने बैठ के टाइम क्रंच के अंदर हैंड स्टिचिंग वो सारे उन सोफ़ास की और टाइम पे डिलीवर किया. So while we talk about our work, we need to mention our team also.
जी.
I believe the color palette of any space should be neutral. I prefer to keep it a monotone. I feel that in a space, the furniture, the rugs, the decor, the accessories, the artwork, that's where the color and the character to the space comes in. So I think if I'm looking at the entire experience of this house and from the start till the end, I think it's been a very fun journey and it's been a great collaboration with all the collaborators that we had on board.